This is part one of an awesome roundtable that we had with two wonderful technicians that decided to come in and join Gage in the studio. If you like part one, make sure you check out part two, because when these guys started chatting, they didn't stop for like 2 hours. So we went ahead and cut it into two parts for you. I hope you like just fun banter back and forth and stories from out in the field with our Halfwatts.
Hit the lights!
You've discovered the Halfwatt podcast. We want to educate and entertain by tapping into the most trusted source of new technology, the ones installing and innovating it. You, the tradespeople that build from the ground up. Join us as we talk with industry leaders, veteran contractors, and even some young blood.
How are you guys doing today?
Fantastic.
Gonna be better.
All aboard. Tired as shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel you.
Yeah.
Been working a lot?
Yeah.
Is this a bad time to tell you I didn't work today?
It's really bad
Yeah.
time to tell me that.
I
Yeah.
just detailed my truck and sat in the sun.
That's amazing.
Day to do it.
Wasn't
You know,
it?
I took last Friday off, and they're like, yeah, you want to use vacation? And I was like, 100%. 8 hours? Yep. And then, like, 5 minutes later, they're like, hey, we actually pulled your vacation off. You have 39 hours and 40 minutes. And I'm like, cool. Sounds about right. Oh, man. You guys staying pretty busy down there?
Yeah, we're doing Redmond School District now, so it's all new systems. It's kind of a headache. People don't really know what's going on, but we're working through it. So
It's new.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, is it just low voltage stuff going on down there, or?
Yeah, pretty much all access control and then security stuff. So
Okay.
it's awful access control stuff,
Yeah.
like hotel room card reader stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm like, oh, sure, I'll install it, but please don't take note that I did it.
Yeah. So with stuff like that, do you have to like program each door individually, or do you guys actually have a ACS panel at the back?
Yeah, no, there is a panel, but it is, you have to go around and you pull out your phone and they have an app and
Wow.
you know, dial it in. You pretty much plug it into a little circuit, but yeah, it's nothing too special.
I'm good on
Yeah.
that, I think.
I haven't touched any of that kind of stuff, and I hope not to.
Yeah, no kidding.
I'm shocked it's a school too, you know? You'd think it'd be like, we need some high-end stuff, and it's very far from it, so.
I don't even like the Schlage reader electrified handles. I would not want to get anywhere near those things. And you guys didn't have to install those?
No,
Also?
they're having a hardware company come out and do it from
Okay.
Washington. I'm like,
Wow. Well,
go,
I mean,
go for that.
well, I mean, the best of the best.
Super
In very
bad.
few things, but
Oh no, everything on there is like, you don't even have to like put a level on it. It's so far off. They're like, we're gonna have to call them back. And I'm like,
yeah. They didn't use their templates.
Yeah, exactly. It's real bad too, because it's like the crash bar is at like, you know, its typical height, and then like the handle's like 12 inches above it on the other door.
What? How do you
it
even
is so
do
bad.
that? How is that
I don't
even
know.
possible?
They like didn't even cover up the holes, nothing. Just went for it. It's really shocking because like Salem Kaiser Public Schools, we do like such amazing work. Everything's
Right.
super nice, and then they're like, "Oh, we're picking up Redmond," and I guess the budget's different. That's all I can say.
Are you surprised that the Redmond budget is different?
I don't know. There's some nice trucks over there, some nice houses. I'm like, maybe they need to tax people. No, I didn't say that.
If you think, yeah, dude, you know, could you imagine doing Roseburg school district?
No.
You're like, it's actually really convenient because we were able to use the bullet holes as just kind of markers for.
Door Swiss cheese.
There wasn't, at least as far as I know, a shooting there. If there was, sorry about that joke, but
We'll
just
edit it
if
out.
you've ever been to Roseburg, you'd get it.
You know what? I did fire system for Grants Pass School District like 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, that was all a retro. It was just repull wire, install new shit. It's hell.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, it was so hot. It was the summer, and it was fires. And it being
so
right
hot.
on the border of California, basically.
Right.
It's hot as shit. 10-hour days, 95 degrees outside.
High elevation, too, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're in the desert, too.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's hot. You're closer to the sun. If you're watching this on
smoke.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and last year was pretty bad, too, wasn't it?
I don't remember.
2 years ago was really
Yeah,
bad.
that's when I was down there. It was like orange outside.
Yeah. It looked like a end of times movie.
Yeah, 100%.
And it was worse down there than up here. I mowed my lawn that year with one of those 3M respirators with the 2 cartridges on each side. And I'm not kidding. It took me like 20 minutes to mow my front lawn. And I pulled it off because my face is just melting into the mask. And no BS. The filters were already like gray across the entire opening. And I was like, I'm really glad I wore this.
Yeah, no, thank God the hotel rooms they gave us had AC. That was the saving grace of that whole trip. Hotel rooms had AC, but everything was still shut down too. So
Oh, man.
I like tried to walk across the street to the McDonald's for dinner.
Right.
Can't go in. Everything shut down super early out there too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So it was like, we got off at 5:30. Everything's closing at 6.
No kidding.
And I was like,
I know the
It's the worst
restaurants.
of working in small towns.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, I'm done with work at 7. Oh, well, you're not eating the rest of the night.
Yeah, exactly.
well, I tested the nurse call at the hospital out in Astoria like last month, I think it was. I was laughing because it's, small town. All of their revenue comes from tourism in the summer because it's like, oh, it's the Goonies town and all that.
Right.
Liquor store closes at 7. Of all places in town, the liquor store. I was
Gage would
like,
be like,
I'm
"I
going to get
quit.
a bottle
I'm
of
going
whiskey
home."
for the trip. Yeah.
Yeah. The cartman. You guys, I'm getting here. So for the guys listening who don't know what nurse call is, you want to explain kind of how that works?
To the best of my ability, I can.
Okay. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you don't have to get in detailed or anything, but just like kind of that, because if you ever have to work on one, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, they are, they're something else. It's,
Perfect explanation. We'll move on.
yeah, no, it's all the button systems between like nurse and patient or the nurses. For when a patient's in a bed or a room or anything, they have their keypad. It looks like a TV remote.
Right.
Attached to their bed. They can hit, oh, I need water, I need the bathroom, I hurt, I need a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
It lights outside the room, and then also sends a signal to a phone station at the nurse's station so they can answer it and talk to them over the phone, which goes to a speaker to that remote so they can hear them.
Right.
But I also learned when being trained on the testing, never press the blue button. The blue button will send everybody to you immediately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It means I'm dying.
Yeah. It's called code blue. There's someone turning blue.
Yeah.
It's not a fun button to push. We accidentally pushed it
Right.
and canceled it as fast as we pushed it, and it was in the birthing center.
Oh, that's rough.
Luckily, no one ran. We were
That's
just like,
good.
Ooh, ran to the nurse. Didn't mean to do that. We
Right,
went to hit the
right.
help button. It's right next to it. And then one of them, the buttons were completely wrong, like the labels that they put on them.
Oh.
So the blue on the top said help. And then there was like staff emergency and all that. There was no blue button on it. But someone had just put the wrong labels on when they installed it. So the top button is the blue button.
If I was the apprentice on that, I would have just switched all of them just for
Oh,
Right,
we
gigs.
printed out new labels for it. We swapped it, and we're like,
I'll pick up everybody lunch but me. Yeah. Switch these stickers around. Show you.
but testing it isn't bad. It's installing it that sucks.
Oh my God. It's a nightmare. Have
Oh,
you had to
yeah.
do that?
I did when I very first started, like 10 years ago.
Right.
We were doing like brand new systems. My boss was special.
Yeah.
Is a nice way to put it.
Right.
So I never saw that it actually worked,
Okay.
but I put some in. So we terminated to like
Lucky.
66 blocks, and I'm not sure if that's the correct way to do it or not. I really don't know.
Couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I don't think we really even do it anymore. We just,
I think everyone
Sub it
tries to
out.
dodge it.
yeah. That's, if you think that you want to start your own company, just learn how to do nurse call before you bump out there on your own, because you're going to get a lot of calls to do nurse call and stuff nobody else wants to do.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there's a reason nobody wants to do it. It sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, I do it because I'm being trained on it. And I'm like, okay, I'll be one of the guys because there's not very many of them. So, sure, I'll do it. But the other guy I'm with, he's like, do we have to go? And I'm like, yeah. And he's like, well, why am I getting sent there too? And I'm like, we need 2 people. And he's like, oh, so you're the guy that knows what's going on at this job site.
Right.
And I'm just getting dragged along. And I'm like, yep. He's like, can I go home? Nope.
Yeah. It's a dangerous,
You get to go
place
too.
to be, being the only one that knows.
Yeah, we just had to fix one. We added, there was like a clinic in Portland that we had to add a dome light and a call station in, and found out after being there twice, trying to figure it out, we're like, oh, it's not working right. This new call station, when it gets a call, it starts losing power. The screen's turning off. It sounds like a big truck backing up rather than a beep. It started just instead of beeping. We're like,
Right.
what the hell is going on? Boss figured out eventually after we replaced the dome light again, thinking it's a bad dome. He's like, oh, it's not getting enough power. So we need to run a new cable out there and just plug it directly into the power supply. Works perfect. It's like,
Interesting.
if we knew that the first time,
Right.
save a trip.
So are you just specializing in nurse call now then?
No.
Smart.
Sounds
man.
like you are.
Yeah.
I'm like the one guy in my department
doesn't
that's
think
being
so,
trained
but
on it. No, I'm the one guy in my department that's being trained on it because only the boss knows how to do it in our department.
Yeah, so
he's
he,
like-
he doesn't know, but
Right.
we do.
No, I've. Yeah.
They picked you.
He's like, I need someone else. I'm picking you as that guy. I'm like,
Yeah, you think
Okay.
he's nice. He's grooming you.
if it makes me more money, all right.
That's
There
true.
you go, yeah. Run
That's
with
true.
that.
Man, you know, one thing I want to bring up that I actually just remembered talking with you, because you were going to go to the inside wireman, high
yeah.
voltage side. Did you know? Because I was also thinking about it and was kind of asking him questions.
Mm.
If you get accepted into that program, they take your low voltage license away.
Really?
But not only do they take it away, they delete it like out of the system.
So you'd have to go through all of it again?
So I went through the entire process of signing up for the program, got on the list, got called in because our company does both.
Yeah.
And so I had made a deal. I thought I had made a deal that was pretty clear with the owner of our company. And they came back and they're like, okay, we're ready to pick you, but you have to forfeit your license. I went, well, I didn't do 3 years of going through school and like starting over
Right.
to just hand this over.
Yeah.
And then there's like this skeptical part of like, what happens if like something bad happens once I go to being an apprentice again. But the way our industry's growing, and I actually, with working on schools and per diem and prevailing wage,
Right.
I make more than a high voltage guy would. So
Yeah.
it came down to, I'm working on schools, I'm getting paid quite a bit. Is it really worth me sacrificing this when all I wanted to do is better myself and go get a high voltage license and be able to do both?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's something that he and I both talked about, because you've talked about like an elevator program.
Yeah, I'm still thinking I'm going to apply for the elevator apprenticeship.
Would that be the same thing? Did they also make you revoke?
See, I don't know, but I don't think so, because they're not related.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But that's like another thing. I just 10% understand why they would take your license.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, this guy could be working on high voltage stuff by himself. He's got no journeyman around. They're not following the law. And then he pulls out a low voltage card. He's like, oh no, I'm doing low voltage. So I'm like, I kind of get that. But the fact that they just purge all of your data and get you don't exist anymore, that's not okay.
No. Which, I mean, because I work for the Vancouver branch of my company.
Right.
We've had 2 guys in the last 2 years go to Inside. And they were both journeymen.
Right.
And I'm like, now understanding that, I'm like, is it really
That's a
worth
sacrifice.
it? Yeah, you got to go back into school for the opportunity for a little bit more money at that point.
Well, they want you to do, I thought they would credit you something.
That's what I've always heard.
Right, that's what I always heard.
Yeah, was my understanding, because we had another guy at our company that he started off low volt, was in it for 2 years. They transferred some of his credits when he went to high volt.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, maybe it's just not to call out the northern side of the program, but maybe I should have looked into the southern side too. But they told me I had to go back to school for 4 years and start over completely. They're like, we'll give you some job hours. It's like, well, that doesn't matter.
Yeah. That doesn't help.
Yeah. They act like they're doing you a favor.
Right. They're we'll give you 160 out of 4,000 hours. Or not even, it's way more than that. It's 8,000, right?
They give you 4,000, but you still have to go to school and do all of the schooling. So
right.
Which I'm sure some of it's probably repetitive to what we have to do as well.
I wouldn't doubt
it has to be more repetitive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just way more grounding.
Yeah, exactly.
Plus the fact that we have to take their electrical exam to get our licenses.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that they wouldn't give us more credit, if I can pass your code already, then why am I having to do all of these I understand the classes even, screw it. I'll just do what Michael Fletcher did for our program, take 2 classes at a time.
Oh, is that what he did?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
That's how he journeyed out early, because him and Javi had already had their hours before, I think before we finished our 3rd to last class. So they took codes and, I want to say, is it fire that's the last one? Mm-hmm. Codes and fire at the same time. So they were going 2 nights a week.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that at all.
That's how they journeyed
out. See, one of the guys that worked
really?
At my company started 2-3 terms after I did, and started classes 2 or 3 terms after I did. Ended up graduating at the same time as me, because for a while he was doing 2 classes a term as much as he could. And I'm like, dude, you're working with the hardcore guys. I'm surprised you have the time to be able to do this. But yeah, by the end, he just switched back to 1 class and graduated at the same time as me. It's like, damn, dude, okay. I couldn't do it.
No.
I like my evenings.
Well, I mean, I think I could have. I probably would have back then if our class wasn't so much fun. And dude, and even every instructor that had our class would be like, man, you guys are really fun and really into it. Yeah. It's because 5 or 6 of us, were, hanging out outside of the program and, having a couple beers before class.
Oh, what was that? Huh?
No. That I misspoke.
Well, see, I got the luxury of the last little bit of my program was all virtual. It was all Zoom classes.
Right.
You're a Rona student?
What's that?
Are you a Rona student?
I was a Rona student.
Wow.
Yeah, so I ended up finishing during all the Rona stuff.
He missed out.
Dude.
I don't know, man. I did all the classes from the comfort of my room, 2 monitors set up, so I got class over here and whatever else I need on the other.
Yeah, but we went to Wankers every week. So.
Yeah. I still can't believe that bar was called Wankers.
There's another one that's Wankers Corner, too.
Right.
Wankers cool.
Yeah, my buddy's having his bachelor party there. I'm like, oh, okay.
That's okay. That's where he chose to have it. Wankers.
That in Vegas. No.
He's like, one last night of freedom, Wankers.
Yeah, he's a wild one, I guess. I don't know.
I guess, man.
Well, and I remember so I'd gone through the program, or was going through the program, and I'd worked for a couple smaller companies, and the journeyman would leave, and then I didn't have a job, and then the journeyman would leave, and I didn't have a job. So I went back to where I very first started, which was for a guy that wasn't licensed. And yeah, we won't get too far into that, but I stepped away from the program for a little bit. You can put it on pause. And Eva hit me up and was like, you have to come back. You have to find a company. And I was like, I don't know. I don't really know that I'm going to do this. I might go do firefighting or something else, And my mom called me like every day for 2 weeks and was like, there's a guy that wants to interview you. You need to go do it. And I was like, not interested.
Shout out to moms.
Yeah, mom knew best. So I finally got back into it. I got with the company that I'm at now. And I remember going to class. I was in a whole different class, all new people.
Right.
And I would sit over up against the wall and mind my own business. I was like, I just want to make it through this. Don't know anyone in here. Don't care. Engage sat behind me like 3 seats over, and I think after like 2 or 3 classes, I think it was his goal to just get me to die laughing. Was to crack me.
Sounds like me.
Yeah, so that's kind of how we became friends. I was like, nope, leave me alone. Engage wouldn't leave me alone. So it was pretty good. He's pretty entertaining, as most of you know.
Yeah. I still remember the day I think it was like maybe the 4th week in, we all come in freaking laughing, Could have been 5 minutes after class started. Could have been 5 minutes before, who knows. But I think at the end of class, I was like, hey, man, we're just wanking. I'm just kidding. No, we go to Wankers like every day before class. You should come. Let me get your phone number. And then, boom.
Yeah, I went from there. And
that's
then you
how
started
the
coming over
adventure
to my house and making mom jokes. And to my mother's face, look, he's so guilty.
I'm not saying probably any of them on it.
As you shouldn't.
Oh, man, I miss her. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I think she misses you
She
too,
was
buddy.
so nice
The best part
to me.
The best part of doing the Zoom classes was the people that would chime in, or just eventually you could tell they were just drinking their night away during class, because they just slur and get more and more and more aggressive with their arguments with the teachers. And it's like, this is such a fun shit show. Let's go.
Turned into an AA meeting.
Mr. Michael, is about Arkansas 20?
My journeyman said what you're saying is wrong, because I told my journeyman and they said you're wrong. It's like,
that's not a good way to get an A in the class.
no.
Right. Yeah, what's that guy's name? Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, tell him to call me, the instructor who knows the codes for this class.
Yeah.
Jeez, I just...
Yeah, one of the teachers during it, because he's like, look, I know you guys are at home. I know you have your phones and all of this. He went on a rant after the midterm in his class. He's like, somebody failed. You should not have failed. There's no reason not to get an A, because I told you use everything at your disposal.
Oh, man.
You're at home. Like, use everything. Google it. Talk to your classmates. Use each other's answer. Like, figure it out
He was
together.
just handing it to him.
Yeah.
I don't know how you would fail those midterms. The final's different, but I don't even know how you wouldn't pass a midterm with 0 materials. Like, to fail. Do you remember?
A couple too many vodka and sodas.
I guess.
That's what it sounds like.
See, the best thing the entire program taught me, because I learned by doing more. I'm not a book learner.
No.
So
I'm hands-on.
I was a pretty average student through regular school and through the apprenticeship school. But the only thing it taught me is don't second guess your answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
The more questions I got wrong were the more that I second guessed and went back and changed my answers in my class.
Do you remember that, Codes?
Yeah, Dave would tell us that.
How I'd always be like, got an 80. The only 2 I missed are the ones that I changed after the fact.
Every time.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's like I went into the journeyman test and everything, and I was like, don't do what you did in class. You got like a 70 on the final in codes class because you second guessed yourself. Don't second guess. And I was like, oh, first try. Cool. Got it.
Nice.
Yeah.
Do you remember what you scored?
82.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
You got a big score, didn't you?
92.
I remember. Yeah, you were just rubbing it in everyone's face.
I wasn't going to
all
say
weekend.
I was.
You were looking at me, waiting for me to ask.
I found out that I had passed early because I was told when I turned in my test and everything, they're like, okay, we'll tell you in 2 weeks by mail.
Right, yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay.
When did they come in for you?
3 days later.
Oh,
it was the same for us.
No, it was
it not?
We took our test on a Thursday.
On a Thursday, yeah.
And Gage was visiting. They let us take it in Salem. I'm from Salem, and so he was staying with us. And you went to work that day, and you called me and you said, "Hey, we got our results back." It was the same day.
It was the same day?
It was the same day. It was either the same day or the very next day.
Damn.
Because he was staying with me, and it turned into the wildest rager.
Dude, dude, for like 4 days straight. Which, real quick, before you start, I just want to say that we left the exam, went home to his house, said hi to his mom, and then the raging started. By the time we actually got to I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. I'm Ricky Bobby.
You're channeling it right now.
Dude, we told everyone that would listen that we had passed our journeyman test that day. We were getting free drinks, people cheering with us. Oh my God.
It turned into a massive party. I mean, I think you were supposed to go home the next day.
Yeah.
And you told your wife, we're going to stay another day and drink. We're going to have a good time. And then the next day, you called her again and told her, hey,
it's a big
I'm going to stay and drink again. And it was like Sunday morning.
Yeah.
You looked awful. I'm sure I looked awful. And I remember we went and had lunch. And it was like, we're going to go have one drink, whatever.
Right.
And then you were to head home. And we ran into my buddy, Todd, who's a retired firefighter. And he's like, nope, I got to buy you guys a shot. Oh, and it turned into a shot and a drink, and then it was another day.
I think we had to have had 3 or 4 just that he paid for. God, what was it? Roots and soda.
Oh yeah, wow.
Blackberry
you got
Roots.
a memory. Probably some Sprite in there.
Probably.
Yeah, that was
nuts.
That was
what were
a
you
good
gonna
time.
say? Sorry.
Oh, what was it? Oh, no. I talked to Eva after I got my results. Mm-hmm. I was like, hey, when am I getting finaled out? I want to test Washington too. And she's like, wait, how'd you find out so early? I'm like, oh, they emailed me. She's like, they don't do that. And I'm like, well, I have screenshots and everything.
Right.
So I guess I forgot to include a picture on my application. So they're emailing me for a picture to put on my card. Mm-hmm. And I was like, on my card? Oh, I passed.
That's tight.
Like,
So
okay.
life hack for everyone else.
Yeah, even Eva told me, she's like, tell the other apprentices the loophole to find out earlier than 2 weeks.
Yeah,
no
really.
kidding.
And I was like, yeah, easy peasy. I just didn't have a picture to include, so I'm like, oh, I don't think this will hinder me. They're still letting me test.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I know how we found out so soon, because so we were the last class in codes when like all the COVID things started happening and they started shutting stuff down. I remember, I'm sitting here like, oh, I heard it on the news a few months ago. I cannot believe that this is actually happening. Thank God I didn't know how bad it was going to get. But so our class gets canceled and we have 2 weeks left of class. And then the next week they're like, hey, we're not going to have any more classes. The college is shutting down indefinitely. We don't know when it's going to open back up. So we had our final codes exam remote. And then the state of Oregon shut down all testing. No one could journey out, which was so...
Yeah, you kick a fat kid at Kmart, huh?
I'm still upset about it. But anyways, I think we didn't get to take the test for like another 3 months.
Oh, geez.
So there was 3 months between our final and us testing. And the test was at the apprenticeship headquarters in Salem, and we were the only ones allowed to take the test. They made one exception, and it was for our class.
Oh, okay.
So it was our
So there
whole
was
class
no one
in there.
else having to be graded other than your class.
Yeah,
Yeah,
So they're
exactly.
just, boom.
So, and they're like, 2 weeks. And then, I think it was the next day we got the result. That's why I stayed, because we got our results, and I was like, we didn't lie to anybody. Let the razor continue.
Yeah, see, I felt a little bad when I was like starting to celebrate and everything, because I found out when I'm working with this other guy that's on his second or third round of testing.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man.
And I was
that's
like,
rough.
oh, shit. And I think the second time he took it, he was 1 point away.
Ooh.
He missed it by one question.
What is that, a 69?
Oh, shit.
How many times are you allowed to take it before they go, nah, you got to go take codes again?
Yeah, you have
I don't
12.
know.
It's not how many times you can
Oh, you
take
get
it.
kicked
It's
out?
12 months. You have to pass it within 12 months of taking
Okay.
codes, or you have to start over.
Yeah, because I worked with a guy that took it
Yeah.
a number of times. It took him a while to pass that test. But he was a character.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't be a sixth term apprentice for forever.
No.
I mean, to be fair, Dave in our program do an amazing
Oh,
job at
he's
prepping us
incredible.
for it. Like, I feel like the class was way worse than the test was.
Oh, yeah.
And I think he said that too. Like, he
Yeah.
admitted it. He's like, you guys are going to hate this, but you're going to feel ready.
Yeah.
My
exactly.
class is going to be harder than that exam is going to be.
Yeah.
And yeah, I learned a lot. I wouldn't trade it for an easier class.
But the anxiety that it gave you for the first 3 weeks?
Oh my God.
Yeah. Yeah,
Awful.
He made sure that we were able to take that one in person.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like right
bet.
when stuff was slowly opening back up. He's like,
Okay.
no, you guys are coming in. You're not doing this remote.
Right.
You need to do this one in person.
Right. So you guys went out to the Chipotle in Wilsonville. Everyone sat down, wearing masks,
Really? 6 feet apart?
6 feet.
No, that class did a lot more than I thought it would, for sure.
Yeah.
Just so off topic, but I see your liquid death tea. Have you had one of those yet?
I have not. I've walked by it a couple times, but I'm kind of addicted to Monster and Ghosts. So
Are you a ghost guy?
I'm a big Ghost guy.
Nice.
The Orange Sickle and somebody got me turned on to the Sour Patch ones too.
Okay. Yeah.
I know a lot of people will hate me for that, but I love sweet stuff.
Yeah, the Sour Patch one made my left arm feel numb. So I was
Oh,
like,
yeah.
no, I'm just kidding.
See, I just love sparkling waters and shit. And when I found out they were making teas now, I was like, oh, I gotta try that shit.
Yeah.
Dude, they're so good.
It's sparkling tea?
No.
It's just regular
I was
tea.
about to say, what?
I mean, you can try it if you want. I don't care.
No, I'm good.
I really like Liquid Death.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've probably had like 3 of them. You know, I'm not obsessed, but I saw that they made the teas, and I tried the teas on Monday this week, and I actually really like them.
Which one did you try?
That I tried the Rest in Peach on the second day, but the first day I had the blue one.
Is that the like Arnold Palmer one?
No, that I don't know what color that one is, but God,
Oh, that might just be their like
like
straight
the
up
leaf.
green tea.
the
Grim Leafer.
Grim Leafer, that's what it is.
Yeah.
It was pretty good.
Creative.
Yeah. Rest in Peach, Grim Leafer, and Armless Palmer.
Yeah,
Armless Palmer. Wow.
Armless Palmer.
It's getting dark.
yeah.
It's what happens when a marketing guy makes drinks.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
He's like, you're telling me I could put anything on here? You know what? I'm gonna say this. I've been telling too many people about this. So have you guys seen the new like Hawaiian water bottles that are in gas stations? It's like a blue plastic bottle. Says something I can't pronounce and won't try to.
Come on, just try.
Sure. I don't. Honolulu.
Oh.
I don't know, but it's volcanic deep water, and that's not why I'm bringing this up. But like their big like claim to fame, I guess, is it's the first water bottle that's made only from plastic taken out of the ocean.
Interesting.
Right. So they recycle plastic, which I'm just like,
Sure.
I'm here for it. They don't have to put more oil in the plastic. This is probably the healthiest water bottle you can buy. And what kills me about it is the word that they use to describe their competitors, the other water bottles. Because it says like how much less oil, how much less water, and how much less CO2 it creates. Mm-hmm. But it says compared to virgin water bottles, our bottles use less, and then those things. And I'm like, what the hell y'all doing to these water bottles? and then like, yeah, it took me like 10 minutes, but I'm like, oh, they're just saying they're used. And I'm like, huh.
Still interesting.
used.
God, yeah.
It's a weird way to phrase it.
That wouldn't be how I would have.
No.
But, I've brought it up like 8 times now, so.
It's like, you ever seen the movie of What We Do in the Shadows?
No.
Oh, it's great.
Is it a horror movie?
No.
Okay.
It's comedy.
Tyler's like, yeah, it's my favorite.
Yeah.
Over the give a thumbs up.
The show is fantastic too, but the movie, I love the movie. But that just reminds me of a line from it, because it's like they're interviewing them. It's set up like The Office, but it's vampire roommates
Okay.
in New Zealand is the movie. So they're asking him, and they're like, hey, what's with the virgin thing? Like, you only drink the blood of virgins? And he's like, no, it's more of a preference thing. And I'm like, well, why do you prefer it? He's like, well, think about it like this. Like, if you're about to eat a sandwich, you're going to enjoy eating that sandwich a lot more if you knew someone hadn't f***ed it first.
Oh, man.
Oh, man. We're definitely bleeping that.
Brings me back to, what are they doing with those water bottles?
It's just, the hell are they doing with these water bottles? I prefer all my water bottles virgin, thank you.
Yeah.
No, okay, so I'm kind of testing the waters here. We want to do some segments, and eventually, actually maybe in the next couple weeks, we'll actually make like funny music or something. But I'm going to try one real quick. Tech tip of the day, but it doesn't have to be about electricity. It just has to be, it can be communication, it could be anything that you want. But one tip that you want to put out.
You got one?
As a tech? That's very on the spot.
Yeah.
Make sure you return your keys to whoever you steal them from.
That
Yeah.
Got yelled
is a
at for
very
that.
good
Yeah.
yeah.
I just got asked 2.5 weeks later by a GC if I had a key.
Oh, yeah?
No. No.
Did you tell him you never took it?
No, I took it from him in his truck. He was driving past. I was like, "Hey, I need a key to the FACP." He's like, "Oh, I have 2. Here, just keep one." And then I don't know what happened, but then he's like, "Hey, do you still have that key?" I was like, "No, put it back in the lockbox."
Did I put it back in the
Okay.
And as he drives
Like,
away, he just pulls it out of his pocket. I'll show you.
That's a good tip.
Yeah, I got yelled at the other day for that.
Yeah, when a hospital, the night shift comes in at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and they're calling all the guys that didn't sign out. It's not fun. Yeah, I mean, I'm like 4 episodes into Trailer Park Boys, man. Can I bring it back to you tomorrow? No? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, I'm taking the van.
I think one of my most useful tools, definitely carry a pocket knife. I've used that for so much.
Have you tried the Milwaukee one that has a screwdriver on it?
No.
It's annoying, but it also is extremely clutch.
Okay.
Like, I have so many times where people are like, "Oh, I need a screwdriver real quick," and you just like whip that thing out, and it's like, I don't have to go to my bag, I don't have to go to my
Right.
van. It's right here.
I like to do
It's a
that.
good play.
Have you seen the Klein stubbies?
The little stubby screwdrivers?
Yeah, they're the
Oh, yeah.
foreign ones.
Yeah.
That's usually in
I
my
love that
vest
thing.
pocket.
Are you packing one in your pants?
Yes. Yes.
So what is it, 2 inches? Maybe 2.5?
Well, yeah, 2.5 probably. Yeah.
My guy.
Yeah. Hey, man.
That's how you use it.
2 different sized heads for Flathead and Phillips. No, that's a good one. Have you seen I actually have 2 of them in my bucket because I have a
Jeez,
personal
Jesus.
one and a work one.
So you don't use the personal one when you're at work?
Well, no, I usually keep one on my nightstand and one in my work pants.
Here, let me
But
see one of
sometimes
those.
I forget, and I'll have like 2 in my pocket at home or 2 at work. But
Man, you could throw this at somebody and do some damage.
It's
This thing's
heavy.
heavy duty.
I love it because it's
Oh, so it's got like
It's
a
a
normal and a...
it's a pocket knife on one side and a box cutter on the other side.
Have you played around? Have you seen those Tough Built Reload utility knives?
Mm-mm.
Those things are so much. It's my fidget toy at work now. If I
Yeah?
need to have they're so stupid, but they're so great. It's a magazine utility knife. So it takes a magazine of blades and you just hit the mag release and it pops out. You can do like fucking tactical speed reloads on your blades and shit.
OSHA's just like sitting outside watching him.
Wait
But-
for him to mess up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's supposed to be so like you need to replace the blade. You can just pull the blade out the front, pull it down, pull it back up. There's a fresh blade. So it holds like 5 blades in a mag.
Right. It's
But
the
I just
new
end up
Oregon law.
fidgeting with it, popping it in and out. Yeah, the new Oregon law.
Maximum 5-round clip on your
No.
your box cutter.
Have you guys ever gotten caught by OSHA?
No.
No, but that video of the Oregon OSHA guy, like, hey, who's in charge here? Yeah, I'm with OSHA, Oregon OSHA. That lives in my head rent free. For like 6 months now. No, have you?
Yeah. I was working at another construction company, very large construction company.
So this was a while ago.
I think it was last year.
Okay.
And I was waiting for a class to get out. And finally they all got out, a bunch of grown men going to lunch, Went in there with the 8-foot ladder, did what I had to do up in the ceiling, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to take your grid wire, tie this off, be the good man, because a lot of people won't do that,
Right.
Looking around in the ceiling, there's like no one did anything, but I have a bunch of buddies that are firefighters, I'm not going to play like that, so I'm like, yep, doing it. Well, I stood on top of an 8-foot ladder.
Oh.
And so I was working with another journeyman, and he's like, hey, I think you shouldn't do that. I just turned and looked at him like, Cody, quit being a pussy. And so he's like, I finished what I was doing. I get down and he goes, hey, so there's a couple guys taking pictures of you. I went,
Oh, no.
hey, bro, that should have been what you told me.
That should have been what you said.
Yeah. Not, hey, you should probably get down. And so this guy comes in
I
and
just
he's
hate
like,
people like that.
this guy comes in and he goes, oh, yeah, I got a couple really great pictures of you. I went, okay, cool. So what? Walked out. And then the woman that is pretty much the head of the facility walks up to me and she goes, hey, you and I need to talk. I went, okay, what's up? She goes, so I just saw a picture of you, and the classroom you were in is a safety class. And the instructor is from OSHA. And he took pictures of you.
Oh, man.
And so I was like, oh, dang, I'm never coming back here to work again. There's no shot,
I'm done here.
She goes, well, he owed me, so now you owe me. I was like, well, that's cool, but you drive a Bentley, and I don't think there's anything I could do for you to.
She's like, that's what you think.
Yeah, and so we ended up having lunch with them, and I was like kind of sour about it the whole time. Wasn't really saying much, and she's like, don't worry about it. At home, I put my husband on the forklift with a pallet, and he just goes up there and trims all the top of the bushes. I went, oh, okay. So there's it's like going downhill. It's
Right,
like, all right. Well. So I got away with one, but
Yeah.
it was not a fun experience.
One thing I didn't know is, I think this is what I heard, but if OSHA surprise checks your job site, they can pass out warnings, but they can't pass out fines. So if you know a guy who's been fined by OSHA, and I think if you get fined twice by OSHA in a certain amount of time, they'll take whatever license you have.
Oh,
I'm
shit.
like, or that's 3 times. But like the second one's like $100,000 fine. So it's just like,
Good Lord.
dude, it's crazy. It's I think it's the same across the board, but like boom lifts. Like if you get caught like up in a boom lift, you're not strapped in or don't even have straps, it's a $10,000 fine for you and a $10,000 fine for your company.
Damn.
No way. Wow.
It used to be just you, but what companies were doing, they were like, don't worry about it, we'll just pay it. Just go up there and do it.
And then they wouldn't.
Well, no, they would.
Oh, okay.
And then the company would pay it. So no one would, everyone's like, oh, well, I got a safety blanket. So then they made it each gets $10,000, and it has to come from your bank account, like buying a house.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, they got a title company out there checking your. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know about that,
But
That's insane.
Sounds accurate.
but yeah. But the second one's $100K per.
And it's specifically for a boom lift?
That's what I know personally. Like, I don't know what like ladder safety rules are, but I know the fines aren't much cheaper, if not the same.
Because my buddy owns a framing company, and he runs around on tops of walls and everything.
Right.
And I didn't realize, because he's like, I don't have to tie off. And I was like, how do you not have to tie off? And for them, it sucks.
Yeah. It'd be impossible.
Well, yeah, but they still want you to. It's
Right.
really stupid. But I guess since he's the owner of the company, they don't care. Like, well, if you want to freaking fall and die or get hurt or whatever, it's your business, so good luck, It's like, okay, I would think that's, still a major safety thing and that they would be concerned about that, but guess not.
See, I've only ever heard of one job site we've worked on where OSHA was just constantly getting called. And that was when they were heavily enforcing the 6-foot rule at the beginning of shutdowns.
Yeah.
It was these apartment complexes that were going up, but there was an apartment complex or townhouse community right across the street from it that was a 55 and up community.
Oh,
And
somebody's bored.
all of the
Heck yeah.
retirees were getting pissed off that these 3-story, 4-story tall apartments were going in across the street and blocking their view of Mount Hood.
Oh.
And that's what they paid for to live there, was to be able to see the mountain.
Oh, wow.
But these apartments went up,
And those are expensive, too.
so they kept getting pissed off, and they'd just watch, just bitter in their windows and everything, and be like, those guys are too close, we're calling OSHA. So OSHA just kept going out there, handed out fines for breaking the 6 foot. All the time.
That is messed up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
Are
really
they? I
is.
mean, are they wearing masks out there? Like, is it like a 6,
I don't know. It was
6 foot? I mean, not that I care, but
Yeah.
I mean, most.
Well, I mean, a lot of jobs I worked on, they were like, only material can go in the lifts now, like the hoist lifts on the outsides of the building. You can only put material in there. The only person allowed is the operator. The stairwell on the north side is for going up. The stairwell on the south side is for going down.
that was always so dumb.
Yeah. Like, you can only go one direction on the stairs, so you don't get that proximity crossing past someone.
But it's like if someone's breathing going downstairs, you're just following them,
They're gonna
passing
walk
by
through it.
their breath.
Yeah. Oh, there was one I did. Well, I was out there maybe a month. They were doing masks and gloves. You had to wear work gloves all day, so you weren't touching things.
Beautiful.
So you couldn't transmit through touch. It's like
How do you
it's a
wire
construction
stuff
site. You're-
with gloves on? It's
the
like
first
impossible.
floor always has water, and then what are you doing? It's nasty. It's a construction site. You think gloves are going to help? It's just going to hold all the dirt. And then we're going to touch them to take them off.
Right.
But we had a job site where it was like, for the longest time, you have to wear a mask and safety glasses.
Oh, yeah, they had glasses there, too.
And it's like, you can't see. You know, you're having a hard time
all
breathing
the
because
air
we're all
is shooting right up
puffing
into
and puffing.
them. Yeah.
Dude, I actually have a story for that. I won't say who the client is, but it was a paper mill, which if you've ever worked at a paper mill, have you?
all the time.
It
Yeah,
is
we have multiple
the
accounts.
worst.
I haven't done that, but I have done water treatment.
Okay, that sounds pretty bad.
Water
too.
treatment
Yeah,
in the heat of
that's-
summer.
The smell.
Oh, dude. I was so stoked that I was chosen to do the programming for that system.
You
Right.
you parked on the opposite side of the lot.
Oh, they were like, you get to go sit in the maintenance bay with a laptop and program this whole system. I'm like, oh, thank God.
Right.
I bet everyone hated you though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why is it always raining at a paper mill?
That's a good question.
It's not raining across the street, but I swear it's always raining at the paper mill. But and the smell is so bad. What is it? It smells like
It's a very distinct smell.
right.
I
It's
mean,
really hard to explain. But
yeah.
so I'm doing, and it's on the coast. So I'm on a paper mill on the coast. It's raining. There's a huge pulp spill. So for people who don't know, they shred this, wood into this like actually like fluffy, soft, like if your wife or girlfriend has a squishmallow, just think that, except like wood, ground up wood.
Yeah.
It's very soft. But when it spills, it's a nightmare. So they had a huge spill, so all the drainage systems were completely clogged. So I'm out there installing devices in the rain. There's a foot of water that I'm standing in that smells, because the paper mill already smells bad,
Yeah.
but the pulp is rotted now because it's been 3 days, so it's all black and disgusting. And
Whatever chemicals they use to break down the wood are just rotting it away.
just
Exfoliating your feet.
exfoliating my feet. And so that I have a pair of boots for paper mills now, and I only wear that pair of boots
I'm
at
sure.
paper
yeah,
mills.
you got to go back religiously too.
No, I just service. I don't do any of the install at them, thank God. But anyways, the reason I brought this whole thing up and that story is it's all outside. it's all outside work that I was doing. It was scanners, long distance scanners, so that they could like put a scanner in the windshield of these big pulp trucks.
Oh,
so
yeah.
that, you know, they got like 50, 60 feet away, and the gates would open up automatically. And their rule was mandatory mask, mandatory safety glasses, whether you're inside or outside.
Get out of here.
So I'm in a foot of rain and rotted pulp. It's raining. It's humid. And I can't see anything because they have a safety guy with me, an engineer that has to be with me while I'm out in the yard.
Yeah.
Babysit you, which is a little accurate.
Yeah. No, but that was, I think, the worst like 1 week work order I've ever done in my entire life. Because I just I think like a few days in, I'm just like, dude, it's mask or glasses. If you want me to wear glasses, which makes the most sense, just please back up so I can like at least like pop my nose out of this thing, because I mean, it was like every like 30 seconds. I don't know if that means I have hot breath or what, but
Probably. I've been brushing your teeth.
The humidity of a place like that.
Thanks for listening to the Half Watt Podcast. We always want to hear from you, and we encourage you to email us at halfwattpod@gmail.com with questions or even your own stories. Funny, crazy, or praiseworthy, we want to hear it all. You can follow us on Instagram at halfwattpod to stay up to date on our feed. Be sure to subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts, and share us with a friend, the best way to help us grow. The Half Watt Podcast is a production of Now Hear This Studios.